In the last vlog, I showed you that I couldn't lock out my left arm overhead. Well, watch this. Are you ready for this? Watch. So I wanted to thank you for all the positive feedback on the previous vlog. I'm really excited that this stuff is helping you. But first, an update. My mobility in my shoulders, it has improved so much since the last vlog. Those exercises that I've been doing, they are working. So my right arm always had excellent mobility. You can see that I can lock it out fully in the frontal plane. In the last vlog, I showed you that I couldn't lock out my left arm overhead. Well, watch this. Are you ready for this? Watch. Oh my God, oh my God. You know what changed my game? Well, other than consistency, it was the tricep and bicep and lat openers. And it was strengthening my weak lat on the left, the weak obliques, and the lower traps. Now, since doing that, my shoulders are no longer uneven. And guess what that means? It means I no longer have to compensate with this hip shoved out this way. Everything's just naturally shifting back over. It feels so weird. I feel like I'm walking around everywhere completely crooked. The purpose of these vlog series is to help us find what is the actual cause of the problem. I mean, for me, I was having knee pain, back spasming, rib pain, all because of a lat up here that wasn't firing. So if you have horrible low back pain because you've bulged some discs, well, maybe you need to look beyond what's going on in the discs in your low back. What's going on everywhere else? Anyway, I just wanted to get your wheels turning. So let's head into the vlog. I want you to take a look at the different exercises that I'm doing to address the cause of my problem. Are you having a good time with your own tail? If you want to learn chin-ups and pull-ups, then you need to master hanging scapular retractions first. The art of getting your shoulder blades to depress down and back. Now, you can see that I oftentimes will just hold this for 30 seconds. I film from this angle so I can see if there's a discrepancy between the left and right side. I do a lot of unilateral or single arm work, and when you do that, you quickly discover if there's a weakness on one side compared to the other. Here you see me doing the single arm banded pull aparts with my palm facing up so that my upper traps don't get involved. Now, oftentimes the lat, oblique, and lower trap is weaker on one side than the other. This is the perfect exercise to fix that problem. I want to make sure that I'm using the right muscles when I'm doing this. So I'm applying an external rotation torque when I pull the bar up, and I'm not overarching at the spine. So I'm actually using my low ab muscles to hold myself in this position. And I'm really using my lats and my obliques. You can see that I'm targeting my lats from all angles, and I'm using the bands as well. And I hold the peak contraction, and I'm really concentrating on making that lat fire. Now, I can't do rope pulls in my living room, so this is my version. I used the rowing machine, and I did 25 rows per arm, and it burned, and it made me realize that the left lat is lagging behind for sure compared to my right lat, and that's why I love the unilateral work, because I can really focus on making that left lat fire. Another muscle that sometimes needs a little bit of help firing is the Serenas Anterior. This is the boxer's muscle, the muscle of further reach. So I'm doing scapular push-ups, which I find challenging, so I drop to my knees, and I noticed that my left one is weaker, so that's why I also like to do unilateral work. I think you're starting to realize that if you cherry pick your exercises, you only do the ones you want to do, and you avoid the ones you hate, it will come back to bite you in the ass. So that means, yes, you do have to do push-ups. Click the card for my push-ups tutorial. If you can't do push-ups without your low back sagging, that means you need to drop to your knees, and it also means that your low abs are weak, and we need to strengthen your abs. The purpose of abs are to prevent extension of the spine, so they're anti-extension. So I want you doing dead bugs. You're thinking about pushing your low back into the floor, not allowing it to arch. So you're using your stomach muscles to push your spine as flat as possible against the floor. I also don't want your low back sagging when you're doing the plank. Do side planks as well. I'm also a fan of hollow body holds and the ab wheel, which is just an advanced form of the plank. And I made a tutorial video for the ab wheel. You can click the card and check that out. Everybody should be doing farmer's carries. You can do them with both hands, with just one hand, that'll really target your obliques. Now, you could use kettlebells or dumbbells. This is going to strengthen your grip strength. I have a question for you. Can you lock your arm out overhead, both sides, completely in the frontal plane and hold it there? Because if you can't, you've got a serious problem. I would back off the push presses and the snatches and fix your problem first so that you don't get injured. I love the wall slides. They're a great assessment tool for me. So see how low I go, and I'm really activating my lower traps. I'm keeping my arms and hands in contact with the wall the entire movement. It looks innocuous, but it's not. I'm keeping my back against the wall, so I'm not arching at the back and I'm not flaring my rib cage up. All right, rotator cuff time. So you can see that I'm in a bent over position, activating my lower abs so I'm not overarching my spine. And I am doing the face pull and then externally rotating. If you can't lock your arm out overhead, then work on the tricep and lat openers that I'm showing you here. There is a difference between flexibility and mobility. Now, I could passively stretch my arm overhead until I'm blue in the face, but that's not going to help me. What I need is mobility in the joint, which means I need the ability to apply tension throughout the full range of motion. So think of mobility as flexibility under tension. You want to be able to apply torque at the end of your range of motion. That's what you need to be able to do if you want to lock your arm out overhead and hold it there, or do a dumbbell snatch, or even hold a handstand. Notice that I changed my grip from neutral to supinated. You can also see my range of motion is limited there, so I'm working on it. Similarly, if the biceps are tight, this is a great opener. Slow on the eccentric, right to the end range. You're much further ahead doing this than passive stretching. And what we're trying to do, this is really cumbersome, by the way, but what we're trying to do requires mobility. You know, your time is precious and limited, so I'd like to make sure you're devoting your time to things that are actually going to help you move better and reach your performance goals. So that's just why I wanted to bring that up, to make sure you're using your time wisely. The farmer's carries are important, and so are the holds. Now, you can see I'm purposely applying torque at the end of my range of motion. My goal is to be able to lock my arm out overhead and do cool stuff like handstands and snatches. Notice I do a lot of single arm work or unilateral work. When you are trying to plug your holes, unilateral work is so important. It can really open up your eyes and make you realize one side is deficient compared to the other side, and it can help you really concentrate on recruiting the weaker muscle. And you can see here I'm doing the Z press, and again, working unilaterally has made me realize that my left side is not as strong as my right side, and this position is great for preventing you from arching your back and cheating. Now, I do bilateral work, but I usually do it after I've done the unilateral work, just to make sure that lazy lat is actually firing. And I'm working in all planes. You can see I'm doing horizontal ring rows as well as the vertical pull-ups. Now, I am really concentrating on feeling my lats working on both sides. I know I have a lazy left lat, so I don't want people talking to me. I don't want music playing, no distractions. I am really concentrating. I want to fix my problem. I want to be able to reach my performance goals. Here's the bottom line. If you want to master certain movements like pull-ups, muscle-ups, well, it's not going to happen for you, and you're going to hit a plateau unless you plug your holes, which means you need to do those assistance exercises that I've just showed you in this video. It means working in all planes of movement. It means working unilaterally. It means switching up your grips. It means changing your contraction style. So you see I did a lot of holds. I did a lot of eccentric focus, and you see I also do concentric focus as well. So movement is very complex, and if you're neglecting a certain aspect of movement, then, well, there's going to end up being an imbalance. So let's test it out and see what happens. So you can see that when I do handstands, I'm no longer collapsing because my lat and oblique are strong enough now to hold me up. It's improved my handstands. This was a record for me this week. I held this one for 16 seconds, and I did that while being tormented by 2 Siamese cats. Can you see Coco in the box and then Bean attacking me? Then I tested it out with the overhead squats. Night and day difference. I was able to apply internal rotation torque with my arms completely locked out overhead, so there was equal tension from the pecs and the upper back. It was so balanced. It was amazing. I hope you got something out of this vlog. If you found it helpful, please do share it with your friends. And I appreciate it when you leave me feedback in the comments below. And thank you for subscribing. It really helps my channel grow, and I'm excited to have this platform and this opportunity to help people. So subscribe, or else when you get to work, you'll realize you forgot to put deodorant on.